Hi everyone, welcome to our channel trafinhealducate and welcome to our today's video where I will be demoing a simple program that you will be able to execute on your local if you are learning the new generative AI technologies and you need some help. I think this will be helpful. So this is just I am showing you, this is our channel where you can simply go to the technology and education playlist, and there are a few concepts around cosine similarity and vector databases. Why I am stressing on this is because these are the concepts that we will be coming across in today's code. Just so today I'll be giving a code walkthrough, but you need to go through these videos. So if you simply go through these shorts that is uploaded into the technology and education playlist of our channel, I think you will have a fair idea or a basic idea of how the generative AI search applications work under the hood. So without waiting for much time, let's quickly jump to the demo.
Now let's see a simple program where I will walk you through a step-by-step code that actually used to read a CSV file and then store the content of the CSV file in a vector database. So this is the first step in understanding how semantic search systems work. So now I am sharing a main.py file. Okay, so here we will be using ChromaDB. So ChromaDB is also a vector database, but that you can use it in your local laptop, local environment, basically. Okay, so this is not advised to use this in production, just to make it clear, but to understand how it works instead of paying any subscription charges for AWS and then using OpenSearch kind of database. ChromaDB is like a free option that we can use to understand how actually the vector databases work. So that is why I'm importing the ChromaDB libraries, and before this you definitely need to run the pip statements that is required for having ChromaDB. So you can just look out for those pip install statements, and post that you first step is you need to import the ChromaDB libraries, and then we are reading a CSV file. So what exactly this CSV file contains, let's see. So the CSV file is actually containing a list of document IDs and the descriptions. Okay, so the use case that I am to display here is if a particular user is searching for a document related to fiber, right, then they should be returned with all the documents that is matching their keywords entered by the end user, basically. Okay, so that is the end use case which I will be uploading two-part videos. Let's see how that works. Okay, so as of now this CSV file looks like having two columns. So now let's go back to the program. So first step is we are reading the CSV file using the in a data frame using panda libraries. Okay, and then the next step is we are creating a client object where we are telling the ChromaDB to create a local database. So that this is whatever my local DB that you see, right? This is the name of my database, basically, or an instance of a database that you can say. Okay, so my local DB will be created in my local, and that is where the data will be stored. Okay, and the default embedding functions. So as I said, if you just see the video that I have short that I have uploaded on our channel, you'll be able to understand what is an embedding and what is the vector database. So I'm not going in detail, but I just want to mention one thing, that the embeddings can be, or the vector representations of a string or a paragraph or a sentence can be generated using multiple methods. Okay, so you can use the inbuilt functions given by the vector databases to do that conversion, or you can take help of a large language model also. There are specific models, for example in AWS bedrock there is a titan text embedding model. So that also can be called in this particular step, where the input will be fed and the titan text embedding model will return back the embedding and store it in the database, vector database, right? So that also you can do, but here I am just creating a simple object, that the using the default embedding function. So in default embedding, basically there is a 384 dimensions. So the vector that will be generated will have 384 dimensions, basically. Okay, but if their content is huge and very complicated, then nowadays even higher dimensions of vectors are also, you might need to convert it into a higher dimension vector. So if you want better search quality, or if you have very complex data, then you definitely need to go for it. Okay, so then comes a collection. So what is a collection? So collection is similar to a table. So if you're familiar with RDS, then collection is nothing but a simple table. Here we are saying that create a table with medical docs cosine, and the embedding function that will actually take care of creating the embeddings. And then in the metadata, we are saying that you should create the table in such a way that it should work with cosine similarity. So there is also a sort on my channel, on our channel, where you can understand what is cosine similarity and why it is very efficient, right? So cosine similarity is a kind, is a mathematical implementation. Okay, so using cosine method, so when your query will be fed, it will be also converted into a vector, and there is already a database that is already having a lot of vectors, right? So the cosine of the angle between them is calculated, and the more aligned they are in one direction, that return result will be returned. Okay, so that is why we are going for cosine similarity approach. That doesn't mean this is the only method. There are many other, like Euclidean distance method also, where only the linearity is calculated, but that is not proven to be um, very efficient. Okay, so then the last step is inserting the data. So what we will do, we will iterate through the CSV file, and then we will insert the data into the vector database. Okay, so if you execute this program, this will go ahead and create the local database, then it will go ahead and create the collection, and then it will go ahead and insert the data into it. So I hope this is clear. So now once the data is inserted, we need to see how actually the data is actually stored, right? Just to understand how the vector database content looks like. So for that, there is another program where you can see that I am mentioning where my database is present and where my table is present, or the collection is present. So once I create these two objects, what we are doing, we are just going through the table and pulling out the embeddings and all the documents. Okay, so and we'll iterate through it. So here you can see that the embeddings is currently, we are using the default embedding, so it is having 384 dimensions, right? And also the vectors are very long also, because the text is actually converted into a vector, and that vector is very huge. So we can't see all the 384 dimensions, and our IO screen also might hang. So that is why I'm just printing the um, initial five values of that vector. Okay, so if you run this program, this you will get output something like this. Okay, so here I am just printing the records that is present. So here you see the ID that we had in the document example, then there is a medicine for vomiting is the text that we had in the CSV, right? And then this is the vector representation, this is the truncated value. Okay, this is this vector, this is the vector representation of medicine for vomiting. But this can be very huge, this is very huge actually. Okay, so I am just printing the first five values out of it. Okay, so similarly all our five records that we had, 5 or 10 records that we had in the CSV, this is how they look like. So I hope now you have a very fair idea of how actually you can use the vector database and how you can store the data. So even if you go for a Amazon Open Search kind of database also, there also the similar concept of collections is present, where you can create a collection, and that collection is nothing but the indexes will be created for each of the unique data, and then the text is also stored in the database along with the vector representation. So these techniques are mostly used in many of the semantic search mechanism. What is semantic search? Semantic search is nothing but uh, if I just ask like a question or a sentence as a query, then uh, what is the meaning of that, right? So the meaning has to be decoded, and based on the meaning, the from the repository or from the knowledge base, the result has to be returned back, right? So that is semantic similarity. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this part. In this part one, I just wanted to show you how the vector database works and how we can store using a simple program, that also free of cost on your laptop, simply by using VS Code. right? So I did not use any licensed products here, just to have you understanding. So if you go through the content of our channel on the technology and education channel, you will actually understand most of the things which are very short. So I am focusing on giving you a very brief idea, because not everyone has in-depth knowledge of everything, but all of us want to understand what is generative AI. So that is the ultimate goal. Please do subscribe to our channel. If you like our content, we will keep on bringing such content to you, so you can keep your learning journey on always. Thank you for watching today's video. Have a great day. Bye guys.